Simataa Simataa, umwana wandiko wakwigiranira kasanga atina kulepumo kumwikushani kumoli abandi isomo ly'abapasi kamayo tondololevyo bakupere kukomayo anaebe likalile balentumo kupyanga kwawo pamulomwe eno babulire ekipiko okwamba okulanje laki mwana wesu ana yesu alina bakafokwe yesu ali kwete salome ona yesu ali kwete maria magdalena yesu ali kwete marita Paulo nawo ali na Feti twise kuli Petero ali kwete toka kanjukukana ine chimo na Yesu mayo wakana ile wakana Paulo kukana ine chimo na Petro naye shiyokukana bambadilisha tebele ni bapasi batata Yesu kabili bapasi banamwe imamwana chitefi tata kabili shima pepo yangwe ujete manaka ya sabaji tumuja zelele ijablancha Natolo mupapa Simataa Simataa Efyo batidiri omona mikangwa tata Papa shita kumutumo lusaka Alenya tuka pofyo lukasa na bubatuka Kongongo kuindo niwe nani Nimeba shita changu indiswi yako Waenda shani bapa shita muna mushiko Atina letera tunismae Manishi badejo wapa zikabatima Nikashiana kuma Yesu lako Mwindira abapadeji kuna Mulume obe di mayo na mpulo mwende Di mayo na mpele mudikoni Koma iweka bika chiareti Waka mweka bana mayo mupata mato Kaji ya ninja kuilishi ya konomba nime Osore kuruirwa palwala nae Oda muna date muna mkuru Aishi wakakana bapa dinishia Ebele ni mapati katata osu Kabili mwe mapati kanamwe Kima mwana chitefi tata Kabili mwe mashima pepo yangwe Usete mwe mapa ya babati Tumuja zelele ijabwansha Asuma kuzialete watu kwa hii Sebe kuna kwa shara Kuleke faisha kipita Kwa mmalo wa yako msharashi Wamula kumbuya
Hello, hello, good evening. Elias Musha here. Good evening, Chiwempala. Welcome to TV Bakwetu. I'm coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta, here at the TV Bakwetu studios, which also doubles as our office. So, two things at once. Today, there's been several things that have happened, and so I thought we could bring to you one of the most accomplished banking and economic experts in our country. Not only that, but he's also an anti-money laundering specialist. Anti-money laundering specialist. Very important. The reason why we need to have him today is because of what has happened. We understand, now I don't know and I'm not too sure, but I understand from the reports, again, Tehine. Don't say that, no, it is you who is making up these things. No. Tehine, we have received very credible reports that the police, acting on a tip-off, found a house. When they entered the house, they found 65 million kwacha in cash. Now, cash means cash. Cash, take over that it's, no, cash, one. Secondly, $57,000 in cash. And so, Njavere, this discussion, we do it very good justice. So, so that I have an expert deal with it. The reason is, you see, money laundering is also confusing lawyers. It's confusing lawyers. Maybe confusing is not a good term, because some lawyers are actually involved in some of these things, and so we need an expert who knows the law, who knows the practice, right? But is not a lawyer, so that we can bring all these things into context. We are then going to be joined by our TV Bakwetu family in order to question Mr. Simataa Simataa. And it will be long today, and Mr. Simataa Simataa can leave at any time, and we are going to continue with our own rants here and there. But we are very happy that we could have such an expert to help us guide through some of these. Now, Simataa Simataa, welcome to TV Bakwetu.
Thank you very much. I'm a keen follower.
Now, just a little bit, please tell us a little bit about you, because you are such a complicated figure.
Hey, it's the first time I've heard that definition, that description. I don't know.
Well, you're complicated.
I'm an economist. From the University of Zambia, the class of 1983.
Okay.
I'm a banker, a fellow of the Zambia Institute of Banking and Financial Services. I do a lot of quiet work with them there. And then the last 20 years, I think 2001 to date, I have been in the anti-money laundering area. My life has also revolved around there. And there are many other things.
That's why I said you're complicated. Because football administration, church, and
football is a hobby. Football is a hobby. Church is my life.
And politics.
Yes, from 94 up to 2010, and also for 1 month last year, I was in political parties. But I'm a politician.
It happened. Anyway, where did you grow up in Chiwempala as well, or where did you grow up?
No, Kabundi. You know, I went to school at that school they now call Nakatindi Primary School.
All right. Okay.
Yes. 1967, 67 and 68, I was grade 1 and 2. It was called Helen Wala Infant School.
Okay. Now, Simataa, you don't look that old, because if you started grade 1 in 1967, what happens? What's the secret?
Mwilele sa vakalamba. it's God's mercy. I don't know. When I look in the mirror, I think I've aged. So I avoid looking in the mirror.
So imwe Messi ineta pali Messi.
Shishibe mkwai mwinelesa eutenya eupela. I don't know what his logic is, but I'm grateful.
Right. Okay, so Nakatindi Basic School ifo kule kwali ni ku town. So wewe mina kuchua mpala. So kanshi ni achievement for
Kabundi kombo nako.
Nawe Kabundi kuli bashmaini ifo ni kuchua
kumake
kuli general workers. Yeah, kuli ba business ba marketeer. Ego na kulile. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us here. Yes. Now let's go straight into the issue. And this is very complicated and we have a lot of questions. 65 million kwacha found in a house. Is there anything wrong with that?
No, there's nothing. You see, when you look at the law, particularly the Prohibition and Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which was first enacted in 2001, and then it was amended in 2010. There's a clear definition of property in there, and money is inclusive. And from that context is where I'm coming from when I say no. I mean, my brother, just like you can own a farm, you can own a house, you can own an aeroplane, it's property. So if you own cash, money, it's also property. So I see nothing wrong with owning it. How you acquired it, that's different.
Okay.
That's different. But we have to establish one fact, is that money is property, just like jewelry, just like treasury bills, just like government bonds, just like any property you might have, shares. And I think I even posted on my Facebook, I jokingly said, what if the police went there, they have concentrated on the money, and yet the floor was made of gold?
Okay. Worth 100 million kwacha.
Even worth more than that. And the driveway they thought was stones, but the diamonds have been put in the driveway. That's where they are hidden. So what I'm saying is it's property. And there's no prohibition in our country over it. And somebody said, no, let's put limits. I said, limits for what? Then limit the house ownership also. Say everybody is entitled to one house, one farm. Because it's the same thing.
All right. I'm just trying to get this one here. Now, when you say the critical thing is how it is acquired, bring that angle in.
Yeah. Everybody in Zambia has a right to own property. I think that we have to. And by the way, property in our definition is something you can see, tangible, or something that is intangible. So all those come together.
Be careful with that intangible definition, because imwe mulibaku eko abasana big intangible property ku Western Province. It's very small. Anyway, intangible property, go ahead.
Yeah, so it can come in any form. You're allowed to have it. What is concerning is how you have acquired it.
Okay.
And if I can give a quick background to that, Mozambia, since Kaunda days, when Zambia signed up with the international agreements, here in Zambia, we passed a law, I think in 1989, called the Dangerous Drugs Act. In there was a definition, a loose definition of money laundering. But that law was repealed, and the narcotic and psychotropic Act that created the DEC, the Drug Enforcement, brought in Section 22.
Okay.
And now it was a bit more clearer on money laundering. But it still didn't quite define it.
We need to demystify and simplify what we mean by money laundering. Okay, because it's a very in money laundering now for the first time from Frederick Chilubanga. Let's address money laundering. You know, when the several addresses that he used to make about money laundering. So what really is money laundering? In the way I understand it is, money laundering is to actually launder which means
that's the clear
money that is coming from proceeds from crime. Legitimate. That is what money laundering is, right?
Yes, it's actually, break it into two words, money and laundering. Now, money comes from basically two sources. There's a clean source, which is your salary, your profits,
right?
You know, that can give you money. That's a clean source. And then there is
you are a Pentecostal like me. Any miracle money? So you're saying that is salary and profit?
No, I don't deal in mysticism. Miracle money. I am there, but I don't believe in what some of these people come together.
Okay. Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah. So maybe you can say offerings. Offerings.
Okay.
That's good money.
Okay.
That's good money. Now there's also bad money or dirty money that is arising from crimes. Now let me put it as crimes because again, the problem is when money laundering becomes prohibited and becomes a law issue, they had already kind of married it to drug trafficking. So for a long time, money laundering just dealt with drug trafficking. So along the way, they've been opening it up. Maybe at some other point.
So by drug trafficking, what you are saying is abantu abashama drugs. So ifyamba. So abantu abenga bashite ifyamba bashita nakashite ayamu kushite ifyamba ero nomba akwate mpiye shingi akasaka kandalama. Elo nomba asenda shirienda mama asha ayamu kushuwasha nomba ala shuwasha shani pako wati shufume shumoneke kwa nakalimo sha chine te.
So kukuwasha the second word is laundry. Money laundry. So you need like a laundry machine. Now, more financial sector, the places you can wash your money are many. Again, when it was beginning, it was like banks were made to look like they are the only laundry. No, laundry can take place through lawyers. Laundry can take place through accountants. Laundry can take place through insurance companies. Laundry can take place through casinos, through estates, through many avenues which have now been identified. So what the drug trafficker will do, remember drugs people don't buy using cash. I mean using credit cards and checks and money transfer. It's supposed to, because it's illegal. So they use cash. So now that cash, they want to put it into the financial system and clean it out. So at the end of the day, it comes out like legitimate money. So that's what they're involved in. Now, as money laundering progressed, Frederick Chilubanga in 2001 approved the law called the Prohibition and Prevention of Money Laundering, Mozambia. In fact, in law, section 22 Muri iriya nachilanda poya narcotic and drugs law. They repealed Section 22 and then amplified it into a law. That law was later in there. We then see what I think is the first definition of what money laundering is. And then that definition was again removed from the law in 2010, and another one placed a new definition. So the current definition we have comes from 2010. Now, in the process, not only locally, but especially internationally, they soon realized that money laundering does not only involve crimes of drug trafficking. So they started adding to the list. And it has expanded. The latest now in the money laundering world is what is termed as the all crimes money laundering approach, meaning any crime now can cause you to be charged on money laundering. Any crime, not just drug trafficking, corruption, fraud, theft, tax evasion, any crime. That's the approach. In fact, in Germany, last year they even passed a law. England has gone that direction. Norway, most countries have, even Zambia. It's now Canada, all crimes. Yeah, even Canada. It's now all crimes. So, for instance, if I remit money from Canada to Zambia and I start buying houses, are you with me? Bank. Launder is the common ones. I can still be indicted for money laundering based on suspicion.
Okay. Very important word there. The word suspicion.
Yeah, it's suspicion. Now, the approaches currently being used are threefold. Maybe we'll get to that a bit later, but I can say
Go ahead. No,
the first approach is what is called the self-laundry approach. What do we mean there? What it means is that me, Simataa, na even dalama, or I'm corrupted, or I do not pay my taxes, I evade tax, or any offense. Nombelo na ikalafe nemuine, myself, not anybody else. I start cleaning that dirty money. So ngamu baisa njikata, bansanga fati awe, amaya under 15, if ma moto kafe Filipansi apa kwa libeya palanchi, ye chungulo, ya kulala na yo, ni moto kayonse. Are you with me? No one else is involved. There's no bank, there's no insurance, nefyashala. So they can prosecute me under what is called self-laundering. The example Muzambia, ni baliato. Mulebukisha baliato bali basangire pona 4 billion per farm na bashika. So babatwala ku court. Ku high court baya wino mulando. Because they got the evidence. And the approach was like before, to prosecute money laundering, you had to have a primary, predict, but primary offense. And then if you prove that primary offense at all, then you can then go to the property and say, oh, do you see the point? Now, they had no primary crime. But they got him on money laundering itself, because money laundering is a crime. If you are involved in self-laundering. Whether our law enforcement agencies in this country are trained to go that direction, Mukwai, I don't know.
All right, so self-laundering, what is the second one?
The second one is what is called the threshold or listed. Iyo ya kusala ama offenses. Like for instance, Mozambique for a while, I think from 2016, we've had a threshold where the FIC in Zambia did a national risk assessment, and they came up with the fact that in Zambia, the highest risk, primary risk or primary crime is corruption. Then number 2, tax evasion. Number 3, theft. Number 4, fraud. Number 5, drug trafficking. So you need threshold. Meaning, in a sense, anyone who does the other crimes, they are not worried that much. Do you see the point?
Right.
So they've listed. Now that's, in my view, is a negative, because there are other people committing crimes. Now the NFA, they've suddenly realized procurement, for instance, now ikwatama problems sana. Where people are bidding for roads, for bridges, for houses, for all these things. So they've now decided to go all crimes. So muri number 2, the investigator has to prove the crime behind money laundering.
Okay.
Now, nga afilwa, usually the people walk. That was the disadvantage. There were very few being found guilty.
Okay, thank
because
you. Any third one? Do you have
the third one is all crimes.
Okay.
The all crimes money laundering approach.
Okay.
Where it doesn't matter what crime or there's no crime, you will be prosecuted. And in fact, this goes back to the original understanding. When money laundering started, it was actually a crime that was unfair, because it was like when you are indicted or charged, you had to prove, the accused had to prove how you have acquired the wealth that is all around you. So that was like you are guilty until you proved innocent. Now, actually, with a bit of apashiri koma, apashiri full stop,
okay. Now
people are working, so governments are getting frustrated.
Okay. All right. Now that is a very good general overview of where we are at and the law, right? So the police have gone in and they've confiscated this money, 65 million kwacha. And in of itself, what you are saying is it's not a crime as far as the Anti-Money Laundering Act is concerned, just having the money. Okay. The issue is the source. In fact, even the charge that the police have the reason why they are holding the money right now, the warrant, is this is money reasonably suspected. Reasonably suspected to be a proceed of crime. Okay? And the reason why that is being done is there's got to be some explanation why you are holding 65 billion. I still use him Pia Shakwachi. Na vena pia banda. Pia shachi neshiti ya. Not Ishaba sata shabufi. Number 65 billion in the house. That brings clear, reasonable suspicion. And I would also confiscate it if I found it. I would confiscate it.
That is now the law beginning to crystallize. Are you with me? In my view, it is still in vapor form. It has not even turned into water yet, and it is yet to become ice. What do I mean?
No, that is the law, Mr. Simataa. That is the law. The law is you can be arrested for having property that is reasonably suspected to be a proceed of crime. One.
Yes,
you can be arrested.
But
secondly, property itself. that is objectively, reasonably suspected to be a proceed of crime can be confiscated by the Drug Enforcement Commission. So you can be arrested, one thing, but the property itself, independent of finding the owner, it can actually be confiscated by the state.
Yes, I'm agreeing with you. Maybe I'm going ahead of myself. Is that what's happened like this evening was the judgment for social media, and that's where I'm saying no. A person is innocent until proven guilty.
Okay, the person is innocent, but property is not innocent until proven guilty. The constitutional liberties do not attach to property. The Bill of Rights has nothing to do with property. The Bill of Rights has something to do with individual liberties.
Yes, I agree with you there.
So the 65 million has no constitutional right to be presumed innocent.
I'm looking at the person. I'm not looking at the money.
We'll come to the person, and that is the reason why. And that is the reason why, in Zambia, we've got it a little bit complicated because we want the owner. Look at the 48 houses. The SEC and the Drug Enforcement Commission. The SEC and the Drug Enforcement Commission, they used a part of the law that attaches property and confiscates property without going for the owner. Because owners are complicated, are sophisticated.
Yeah, true. They have that provision. They have that. They can do that. They can confiscate property when somebody doesn't own up to say it's mine. I think, there's been a couple of examples here and there. They can still do that. But when it comes to the person, well, they really have to be taken to court and proved guilty.
Yes, the person. So if SSC decides, right, to take the 65 billion kwacha, they can confiscate it and publish a notice in the newspaper for the owner of this property to come and explain whether they are the owners. If they come, then they're going to provide explanations, and that is one procedure. The other procedure is find the owner and arrest them. But chances that you're actually going to convict people is very slim. That's what I tell my friends. It's very difficult to convict mafias.
Yeah,
very difficult. In fact, even Western countries have found it extremely difficult to convict mafias.
One of the things money launderers do, or criminals, is to distance themselves from the property, and that's why it's money laundering. Because otherwise, but they'll keep a close check on making sure that the money goes where they want it to go, but there will be no linkage.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Between them and the money. And like in this case, it has been found in a house. Then the owner will have to own up and come and explain.
Right.
And so it's my money. I accumulated it over 20 years. No. There is no
common sense. Simataa, you and me come from Chingola. We've got to have simple. We are the most common sense. If we're in a Chingola. Apart from the Chingola TV choir. Mwalimu mfapo Chingola TV choir Simataa?
I'm quiet.
Mwalimu mfapo Chingola. Bona kwati nine ofeneka. Kanshi na mwali ishi.
Legani kwishe. Umuntu chaya pela story, but if the law enforcement agency does not agree, they will take them to court. Hello mwali shokati ngani Muzambia. In our law, there are two provisions which are like a get out of jail card. One in anti-corruption, one divided out of court settlement.
Okay.
Mo FIC, na momo ene mo FIC omo yaba. Yeah. So mutu ja quiet lwakuna fati omkwai. Nifine. Dekaninde.
But that law is there so that Because Abene, okay, let's put it this way. You've said it, that mafias distance themselves from their crime, okay? So it's very expensive for the state to invest in investigating mafias. It's very expensive. SEC and DEC combined together today, they don't have capacity to investigate the kind of loot that went on under the Edgar Lungu administration. Now, I don't know what your political persuasion is, Boss Simataa, and so I don't want to cloud your political affiliations, but they don't have capacity. The reason is the distance. The reason is the distance.
Agree with you, my brother.
And so it's easier to find the property and get it than it is easier to investigate perpetrators and actually bring a conviction. That's why the best approach is go after property, go after buildings, go after houses, go after all this cash, confiscate it. And I think that's exactly what the president is saying. We are going to prioritize recovery of assets, stolen assets, over actual conviction of these people, because these are very difficult to find. 48 houses. Let's take the 48 houses thing.
You are preaching to the converted.
Okay,
I agree with you. I've even made public statements to that effect. That you see, the FIC, the Anti-Money Laundering Investigative Unit, is still there under the DEC. The DEC itself on drug trafficking, Zambia Police on fraud and theft, ZRA on tax evasion. They all need to be strengthened. You know, and strengthened real big, not jokes.
Okay, so now, what's the matter? We have 3,600 people listening to us. This is one of the highest listenership that we've ever had. So, so this is very close to what happened during campaigns. So you are pulling. I don't know whether it's the topic or it's you. So I'm going to do a little bit of marketing here. Send stars to TV Bakwetu. Send stars to TV Bakwetu, because we don't want to be accused of money laundering. Suddenly somebody comes to my house. Bagasange MPA Shingi. I'll say it's from the stars. So send us the stars, okay? And subscribe and let everybody follow us, because this is TV Bakwetu, and we are with Boss Simataa Simataa, one of the most complicated citizens in our country. He's an economist, banker, Pentecostal, sports person, politician, say it all, and he's had it. A very, very important member of our family, and we are very excited to have him on our show today. From the comments, you can see that people are interested in you, Boss Simataa.
Well, I'm humbled because usually I like to talk to myself, and I use my Facebook. so I'm never sure anybody's listening anyway.
All right. Now, here is the thing. We want to make sure that we have a clear understanding and agreement here, Boss Simataa, that a person, an ordinary citizen of our country, being found with 65 billion kwacha in their house is itself an anomaly. I know that legally it's not a problem, but common sense, that is a problem.
Yeah, it raises a lot of questions.
What you say as an anti-money laundering expert, it matters what you say.
It raises a lot of questions. You know, for instance, I've seen posts of why didn't she bank it, or he bank it. It raises a lot of questions. Why would you want to keep that kind of money in the house? $7,000, billions, like you have said.
Yeah.
It raises questions. It does. You see that? Now, the problem I have with what I read this evening, I only picked it in the evening. How I wish that things like that would still be kept under the wraps. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, why would you want it to be kept under the wraps?
Nabuila nomba soku Zambia, Nabuila. Bushiku. By the time we wake up tomorrow, Ndeke nashipupuka maya mamotoka naenda inchinga, you know, ox driven cats.
So
That
you agree
could be
with
the only
me
amount
that,
you are going to catch.
yeah, so then you agree with me that this is just a small, there are several cases of this nature.
It's a tip of the iceberg. My brother, just this evening when you called me, I'm a bit rusty in that regard, but I went on the Bank of Zambia site and I checked on money or cash in the banks. It's only about 7 billion, today's currency. I mean, today's Zambian kwacha.
Okay.
You know? Are you with me?
Right.
And then I went and looked for currency in circulation, 13 billion. So there's 6-7 billion kwacha. Muma tumba yesu. Muma seeding. Are you with me? So when you now think like that, you say to yourself, what is 65? Because everybody, including me, you get the point. So now
okay.
You go and announce. I got offended actually. That's why I decided to just be sarcastic, because somebody somewhere is not helping.
Number here is the thing, because bakapokola nabo balefwa yokupangeshi na kuli kateko kweba ati they are working mwamana. So number kanshi announce wangu wako kweba ati
twaika medical doctor nabo balafwa yokupangeshina but tumfwati nabafumya pwapwa mumuntu after they've done it. You get the point. Tabachita announce umuntu lili alengira muwadi ati uye natwala muchita operate tufumya mwemitima shibiri bicha muchitatu.
Okay. Now, where we are right now, okay, so okay, so you have a problem with law enforcement, but do you support the use of specialized courts to go after these 6 billion that people have hidden in their ceilings?
I actually posted it on my Facebook. I said the Chief Justice should consider.
You are on TV Bakwetu, so please. I know you want us to advertise the page. Okay, you do have a page, and tonight, please, people, go and like the Simataa page. Anyway, yes.
There are enough people there. What I'm saying is that I actually posted that the Chief Justice should consider setting up a special court just to look into these issues. Like for instance, uyu muntu ngagwa chali sangirwe mailo akasuba tulingiro kumfuata ali mukoti. You get the point? And we find judges who are well equipped to come and hear the matters, because money laundering, a lot of people survive conviction based on technicalities.
No, what's matter? We need to be very clear. We need to be very clear here that convicting people is very tough.
Yeah, but
not just for money laundering.
The money. Because that is your area. Bakalamba, maybe that's your area, I understand. But if the government is going to confiscate money from me, huh?
Yeah.
They have to prove that I didn't have a right to it.
No. That's not the thing. Okay. About Misanga. These houses we have in Lusaka.
So Bakalamba, Mailonga ndenda musebo kapokola chafati. Can I see your wallet? Hello, answer that.
No, there is no reasonable away. No. Yo, Asmata. No. If you Bakalambe, if you away. If you want number, no. The reasonably suspected to be a proceed of crime is 65 billion. Ngachaptina na isa kumwenuko. Na sasa nga 65 billion basimata na la mweka.
You go in Qatar to but take Musonda and Tembo. Ngani kwa legitimate reason.
Mukese londolola. Mukese londolola. Mukese londolola.
Ngana kulondolola.
That's
the basic hapo ndela ndati imwe bene baloya nepo mupange ndalama because itina yalondolola mukoti mwabwela mwaisalyamo na 10%.
Okay. Now we need clarity here. There is prosecution of people under crimes, and then there is confiscating property under different laws. So one is connected with caption. Therefore, if a chava nefi umungo ngamwamu ikatomungo at naiba. What's the thing to fibiri? Either kuti mwamutwala omungoyo kuliba kuchidie bamwikata bamulonga bamukaka. That criminal procedure. Ilya yadi shupa bantu abengi aba particularly ama mafias na bakerenka bala ichita distance so pakusanga pala shupa ama resources ayafwa kwa pakoti bakapokola bapitemo. It's very expensive. Number kuliko imwe tuita shortcut yako but instead yako chita concentrate pa bantu mwachita concentrate pali property mwaya apokolola nga mwapokolola ile property mwalanda tumwine ni nani abengi tabamoneka ngamono kuba for example a lot of property
they are guilty because they are guilty they will not show up but what if I'm not guilty? I want to be given a fair chance to defend.
Just show up and go to the High Court. Nokia beba High Court at each chandi epela, and then the High Court will say, okay, fine, and it has to be reasonable. For example, ngo shitisho mukaka, ula shitisho mukaka. Kutu walandoko bati budebu shku na pangire 50 kwacha na panga 50,000. No, ngo shitisho mukaka. Elo within 2 days was actually report 2 billion. Niweka bwalala.
That's your interpretation. Mine, you are still innocent until proven guilty.
That's under the criminal procedure. That's criminal procedure. All criminals are innocent until proven guilty. If you today under property, property in Lusaka, the money laundering going on in Lusaka, where everywhere abantu kula. We need to begin just mwachanga fyachikulu you attach it. Mwasanga olupia you attach it. No kubatwala ku High Court. Like like what happened with the 48 houses. That is the procedure we need to be taking. But people that are owners in name, I mean at owners in name. Let me even tell you, legal ownership is even irrelevant. Legal ownership because to abika portfolio so I for jama ama signatures. Okay.
Yeah.
To ala later number, I'll bring my team. Naba furuwa bantu. So mufuyemu aba very clear about Simataa, but it's not you, okay?
Oh. Na ina fingi mfulilwe.
Okay. Now, I'm going to post the link here. So we are asking those people here that have specialized knowledge in some of these things to be able to, let's prioritize them, okay? We can only have 12 people at once. And so I'm going to post the link here. We are coming on about 4 platforms. And so, come and let's have this discussion. Where is my co-host has disappeared. Jerome, where are you? Jerome Kanika. Okay, Jerome Kanika is not there. Mr. Wellens Miyoba. Could you please unmute yourself? 65 million kwacha cash in a house.
Yeah, I'm not really. I'm a medical personnel. I'm not really in the law. But what I wanted to find out is, I think what Mr. Simataa said is the source, of where that money came from. I think that's the main point actually, because I wanted to find out what case did the police actually, give it to the lady if she was arrested. If she was arrested, what charge did they give her?
She's not been arrested.
She hasn't been arrested.
No.
All right. Yeah. So
the police have confiscated the money because it is reasonably suspected to be a proceed of crime. This has nothing to do with an owner of the property. Anything in Zambia, police can come and get it if it is reasonably suspected to be a proceed of crime.
Right.
Yes. Now that's where the source is. That's the most important thing, is actually to explain what she does, where that money is coming from, where did again they'll ask why was the money kept, that amount of money kept in the house? Why not? I know in Zambia we don't have a certain limit of money to be in the house. In other countries there is a certain limit of money to be to be kept in the house. Then if beyond that, you'll be absolutely illegal to keep a certain amount of money in the house. So, but in Zambia, as Mr. Simataa Simataa explained, you can keep any amount of money in the house. It's a property, but unless, as you are saying, Mr. Mwisha, suspicion. There is suspicion, progressing to a crime. So I think we need to really, the owner of the money, to explain how the source of the money.
Okay, that's the thing, right? Because we need, for me, you get it. If she shows up to claim that she's the owner, then let's take it up from there. But law enforcement should be confiscating all this money that they reasonably suspect to be proceeds of crime.
Of course, they're doing the right thing there. There's no doubt about it. That's a huge amount of money, which can actually, the one ministry can go with, with that money and use it.
Shingi sana. Boss Simataa, stadium yanga tunga kula mulisho.
I would prefer if that money was confiscated and it's proved there's nobody claiming it. That money should be distributed among the FIC and the law enforcement agencies. That's my cry.
Right.
These people are working on a very big project, but with very little equipment.
Okay, Boss Simataa, what I'm going to do is, and I need to advise my TV Bakwetu family here, I'm going to put an end to this broadcast so that we can have another broadcast where we ask and have a huge discussion. We are going to lose some accounts, some followers, but I think that would be a better approach. Because this is a very huge topic, and I don't want us to overshoot the time, because what we are doing is, we have this topic, but if it becomes too long, people do not follow, because our broadcasts are listened. People listen to them in their around their time, and so I'm going to let everyone on and know that we are going to do that. Team, we've got to cut this and rebroadcast. Is everyone okay with that?
Sure thing.
So
yes,
I wait. Yes, please.
Yes. So I'm going to send a new link shortly. And so we are going to do that. This is TV Bakwetu, Elias Musha here, and our topic is extremely important, but we needed to split it in some manageable units so that we can confront this big issue today. We are going to come back momentarily. Please, don't say don't sleep, okay? This is important. Elias Musha here on TV Bakwetu. We'll see you in the next 2 to 3.